You know, if you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
I think Sonny's dumb. Is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out.
The courtroom has always been a stage for drama, but rarely does it host a spectacle quite like this. Imagine a legal grenade, packed with a staggering $100 million, detonating right in the heart of daytime television. That's precisely what happened when Melania Trump, the famously private former First Lady, launched an unprecedented lawsuit against the long-running talk show, The View. This wasn't a subtle warning shot. It was a full-frontal legal assault, a declaration of war on her public image that sent tremors throughout the media world. For years, The View has prided itself on its fiery debates and unvarnished opinions, a round table where hot takes are the main course. But this time, their commentary, usually met with applause or e-rolls, was met with something far more severe. A legal document demanding nine figures. $100 million. That's a number designed to seize attention, to make headlines, to scream, and to send a clear, unequivocal message that this isn't just about hurt feelings. It's about perceived damage to reputation, potential lost earnings, and the immense personal distress caused by public defamation. When a public figure, especially one as guarded as Melania Trump, chooses to wield such a colossal sum in a lawsuit, it signals an unshakable resolve to fight for her name and legacy, no matter the cost. It's a stark reminder that even in the seemingly wild west of televised opinion, words still carry immense weight and, sometimes, an astronomical price tag. The question on everyone's lips isn't just if Melania has a case, but what exactly pushed her to this extraordinary measure. What could have been said that prompted such a drastic high-stakes response from a woman who so rarely steps into the spotlight on her own terms? It was just another typical episode of The View, or so it seemed. The co-hosts, seated at their familiar table, were engaged in their usual spirited discussion, dissecting the day's headlines with their characteristic blend of personal opinion and political commentary. Millions of viewers were tuned in, expecting the usual back and forth that has kept the show on air for decades. But then, the conversation shifted, and what started as casual banter quickly veered into territory that Melania Trump's legal team would later call false, defamatory, and deeply damaging. Imagine sitting at home watching a show and suddenly hearing a group of prominent personalities on national television dissecting your marriage, questioning your dedication to a role you held, and even poking fun at your personal taste. That's essentially what unfolded. One host flat out speculated that Melania hates Donald Trump, suggesting she wants to take him out and doesn't even want to be the First Lady anymore. Another chimed in, painting a picture of Melania as checked, out and cool, implying she never truly engaged with her duties. And as if that weren't personal enough, they reportedly delved into her White House redecoration projects, making jokes about her Christmas decorations looking more like a haunted mansion than a festive wonderland. It's easy, sometimes, for conversations on live television to get carried away, especially when the hosts are trying to be witty, provocative, or simply entertain their audience. The line between sharp commentary and personal attack can become incredibly blurry, and in the heat of the moment, words can fly unchecked. This incident serves as a powerful reminder that even in the most casual-seeming discussions, especially when broadcast to millions, there's a profound responsibility tied to every word spoken. Because while an offhand remark might feel fleeting, to the person saying it, for the person it's about, it can land like a physical blow. These cutting comments weren't just heard by the audience. They reached Melania Trump herself, and her reaction would prove to be anything but quiet, marking a decisive shift from her usual stoicism for so long. Melania Trump seemed to glide through the political landscape with an almost enigmatic grace. She was the picture of quiet resolve, rarely engaging directly with the daily onslaught of media scrutiny. While other public figures might jump to Twitter, release a fiery statement, or give an emotional interview, Melania often met controversy with a dignified silence. It was a strategy that baffled some, frustrated others, and ultimately became a defining characteristic of her time as First Lady. She seemed to embody the old adage, never complain, never explain.
Get under the
Think
table.
about it. From the very moment her husband announced his presidential bid back in 2015, Melania was under an intense microscope. Every outfit, every facial expression, every subtle gesture was dissected, analyzed, and often criticized. There were countless headlines, endless late-night jokes, and continuous speculation about her personal life and her marriage. Yet, for the most part, she remained stoic, allowing the noise to simply wash over her. It was a remarkable display of composure in an age where public figures often live and breathe on social media. constantly responding to every slight. So, when the news broke about this colossal $100 million lawsuit, it wasn't just a legal headline. It was a profound shift. In her public persona, this wasn't a vague press release or a cryptic tweet. This was a full-throated legal challenge, a strategic maneuver orchestrated by a determined legal team. It signals that a line had not just been crossed, but trampled upon in a way she found unacceptable. For Melania, this lawsuit isn't about seeking fleeting attention. It's about reclaiming her narrative and drawing a very public, very expensive line in the sand. It suggests that even the most reserved individuals have breaking points, and when those points are reached, their response can be surprisingly powerful and utterly unexpected. This wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. It was a calculated counterpunch delivered with precision, while Melania was meticulously preparing her legal strategy. Another prominent voice was about to weigh in, adding yet another explosive layer to this unfolding media drama. As Melania Trump's legal team was meticulously building their case, the simmering media controversy was about to get a fresh dose of fuel, courtesy of one of the most influential voices in podcasting, Joe Rogan. Known for his raw, unfiltered commentary and his ability to draw millions of listeners to his long interviews, Rogan rarely shies away from a brawl,
no one had
and
ever
the views,
seen
comments on Melania Trump proved to be irresistible. Picture this. You've got a show,
they definitely weren't
The View,
really far
known for
away,
its
right?
liberal leanings and strong opinions, facing a massive lawsuit. Then, into this already volatile mix, steps Joe Rogan, a voice often associated with questioning mainstream narratives and unafraid to provoke. On his massively popular podcast, he didn't just offer an opinion. He went on a full-blown tirade, tearing into The View with his signature bluntness. He called out what he saw as blatant hypocrisy, reminding his audience that not so long ago, these very same hosts were warmly embracing Donald Trump on their stage, showering him with praise. Now, according to Rogan, that same set had transformed into a hit piece factory, where clout comes before class and attacks sell more than actual conversation. But it was one specific comment that truly went viral, lighting up the internet and becoming a rallying cry for many of Rogan's fans. With his usual savage delivery, he quipped, "If you average out the IQ of the hosts on The View, you might still struggle to hit triple digits."
Right,
Ouch.
of the
That
dark
remark,
side of the moon,
delivered with a mix of humor and biting criticism, encapsulated the frustration many felt about what they perceived as unfair and unprovoked attacks on Melania. It perfectly illustrated how a single, sharp quote from a powerful platform can quickly become a sensation, sparking both fervent agreement and furious condemnation. This incident offers a subtle lesson about the power of platforms in today's media landscape. Whether you agree with Joe Rogan or not, his ability to inject his perspective directly into the public conversation, bypassing traditional media filters, demonstrates how rapidly narratives can shift and how quickly new voices can influence debates. His roar wasn't just noise. It added a significant new layer to an already explosive feud, pushing the conversation beyond just the legal aspects into a broader discussion about media integrity and the true motivations behind commentary. And speaking of motivations, Rogan's critique wasn't just about the current comments. It highlighted a striking inconsistency in how The View had treated the Trumps over time. A look back reveals a surprising journey from warm embraces to fiery condemnation sometimes. Memory can play tricks on us, especially in the fast-paced world of television. It's easy to get caught up in the current headlines and forget how things used to be. But if we rewind the clock just a few years, we'd find a very different picture of the relationship between Donald Trump and the ladies of The View. It's a fascinating journey, from warm embraces to fiery condemnations.
The table
it really
is so
makes
dumb.
you wonder
it's
what
a
changed.
fucking nuclear
Imagine watching
blast
an old
that
clip,
annihilates
perhaps
buildings.
from years
You're saying
ago,
getting under
and seeing
my
Donald
stupid
Trump
desk
before his
with the
political career
clamshell.
fully
Those
took off,
desks with the
stepping
clamshell.
onto
It's
the
the only
View
shot.
stage.
Yeah, that's
He
my
wasn't
first
just tolerated, he was celebrated. You'd hear introductions like, "And please welcome our friend, Donald Trump." You'd see genuine smiles, big hugs from Whoopi Goldberg, and warm greetings from Joy Behar and Barbara Walters. The audience would be cheering, and the hosts would be showering him with praise, chatting about his business ventures and reality TV stardom in a remarkably favorable light. They seemed genuinely happy to have him there, calling him our friend and assuring him they were very happy whenever he was on the show. It was a picture of mutual respect, perhaps even admiration. But then, something shifted. As Donald Trump's political ambitions grew, and especially as he started winning in the polls, the tone on The View began to change. Gradually, subtly at first, and then with increasing intensity, the warmth turned to skepticism, the admiration to criticism, and eventually, the friendly banter transformed into sharp, often personal attacks. The very people who once hugged him on stage were now dissecting his character, his policies, and even his family with fierce disapproval. This dramatic U-turn offers a telling insight into the nature of public platforms and the influence of political currents. It reminds us that alliances, even seemingly friendly ones on television, can be incredibly fluid, especially when the stakes are high, and political agendas come in into play. It highlights how the quest for hot takes and the desire to cater to a perceived audience can sometimes override a consistent stance or even past relationships. For The View, this shift has been profound, showcasing a transformation from celebrity talk to a highly politicized forum. Now, with Melania and Trump's lawsuit shining a harsh spotlight on their recent commentary, the fundamental question arises: where does the spirited debate end and personal defamation begin? This is where our story dives into the heart of a truly complex and vital question. In a world brimming with opinions, where exactly does free speech end and harmful defamation begin? It's a debate as old as the printing press. But in our light digital age, where a single comment can go viral in seconds, the stakes have never felt higher. Melania and Trump's lawsuit against The View isn't just about personalities. It's pushing us to reconsider this delicate balance. Think about it this way. The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution beautifully protects our right to speak freely. It's a cornerstone of our democracy, allowing for robust debate, criticism, and even satire. We count on it so that journalists can hold power accountable and everyday people can express their views without fear. For example, a political commentator can certainly say they disagree with a First Lady's policies, or even criticize her public appearances, as long as those criticisms are based on facts or clearly stated as opinion. That's the beauty of free speech in action. However, that freedom isn't absolute. There's a point where words can cross a line from opinion or criticism into something legally actionable. Defamation. Generally speaking, defamation involves making a false statement of fact about someone that harms their reputation. And here's the kicker, especially for public figures like Melania Trump, for it to be defamation, the statement usually has to be made with actual malice. This means the person making the statement either knew it was false or acted with reckless disregard for whether it was true or not. It's a high bar, designed to protect open debate, but it's not insurmountable. When The View's hosts allegedly speculated wildly about Melania's marriage, or her personal feelings in a way that couldn't be proven, they entered this tricky legal gray area. The lesson here is profound. While our freedom of speech is incredibly powerful and precious, it's not a license to say anything about anyone without consequences.
Nuclear war. The
With
Flash,
great freedom comes great responsibility.
Good protection.
Every
I
word,
heard.
especially
Get
on
under
a
the
national
Manny
platform,
actually
carries
is the
weight.
person
It's
people
about
ask me, you know,
respecting
are there
facts,
dietary
recognizing
restrictions?
the
And I'm like,
impact of
no.
our
And then
words,
my kid's
and
Manny,
understanding
she's
that
allergic
even
to
in the pursuit
walnuts.
of hot
So
takes,
generally doesn't
there are
happen to me.
fundamental
This hasn't
boundaries.
happened to me.
This crucial legal battle isn't just a
In
fascinating
Washington,
case
people
study.
really don't
It carries
know
immense
her like they
implications
know
that could
most
ripple far
first
beyond
ladies.
this particular courtroom, reshaping the
Melania
very
Trump is the
landscape
most
of American
private
media.
first
This
lady
isn't
we've
just
seen
about
in
Melania
modern
Trump,
Trump.
or The View,
She's
or
one of the
even
most
that eye-watering
recognizable
$100 million
faces in the world.
figure.
A
No,
stylish
this
first
lawsuit,
lady,
unfolding
a
right
devoted
before our
mother.
eyes,
But
carries a
beyond
weight
that,
far beyond a
Melania
single
Trump
celebrity
remains,
dispute.
for many
It's truly a
Americans,
watershed
an
moment,
enigma.
poised to
She's a
potentially
person of
reshape
new
the very
world.
landscape of
She has that
American media
quality of
forever.
mystery.
Think about it this way. Imagine a massive chessboard, and this lawsuit is a move that could fundamentally change the rules of the game. For every player, for decades,
Democratic.
daytime
I
talk
think
shows,
it's-
news
it's-
commentary
attempts and all that
programs,
sort of stuff.
and
Yeah, I
now
don't think
even
it's
podcasts
that
and
anymore.
social
I
media
think it's that
influencers
people
have operated
find
with a certain
that
unspoken
political
understanding.
violence in and of
The bolder the
itself,
take,
regardless
the
of
more
which
provocative
side
the
you're on,
statement, the
is
better for
somehow
ratings
now
and
more
virality.
acceptable than
It's a
it's
formula
ever
that
been,
has
and
driven
that
content for a long
scares the
time.
heck out of
People
me. I
often
mean, you
felt that as
also
long as
have
they were expressing an
someone like
opinion,
Senator
they were largely
Alex
safe from
Padilla
legal
out of California,
repercussions,
a senior
especially when
senator
talking about
being
public
arrested
figures.
for simply
But Melania
asking a
Trump's
question,
legal action
which is
challenges
when you
that
start
comfortable
seeing the
assumption head-on.
quelling
Consider
of
the potential
political
domino
dissent,
effect.
that
If Melania and Trump
generally
were to
comes
win
with
this lawsuit, or even achieve a significant settlement, it would send a thunderous message across every newsroom, every podcast studio, and every influencer's laptop. It would serve as a powerful real-world example that words, particularly those spoken on national platforms, have profound legal consequences. Suddenly, that hot take might come with a cold, hard price tag. News anchors might become
That
more
before
cautious.
COVID, I would've told you
Political
vaccine's the
commentators
most
might
important
scrutinize
invention
their
in human
facts
history.
more
After
rigorously.
COVID, I'm like,
And even
I don't think
online
we went to the
content
moon.
creators who spill the tea
Yeah, I know
for
that was in
views
your- but
might
yeah.
find themselves
But the
asking,
billionaire
how
real
far
estate
is too far?
developer always
This isn't
talked
about
of
stifling
being president.
criticism. It's
Melania
about drawing
knew
a clearer
long
line
ago
between
his
genuine
dream
opinion
could
and
one day
potentially
become a
damaging
reality.
falsehoods. The subtle lesson here is a vital one for anyone who consumes or creates
Yes, I
media.
would be very
The louder the
traditional,
microphone, the greater the responsibility.
Jackie
It
Kennedy.
highlights the
I will
critical need for
support him.
accuracy,
I will
context,
do a
and a
lot
clear
of social
distinction between factual
implications.
reporting
I will
and
stand by
personal
him.
speculation. This case could establish a new precedent,
Less than
forcing
20
programs
years
that
later,
thrive on
that
drama
famous
and controversy
escalator
to
ride
seriously
would take her
rethink
from
how
her
they
Fifth
balance
Avenue penthouse
entertainment with
all
ethical
the
and
way
legal
to the White
obligations.
House.
So, as the legal gears slowly turn, all eyes are fixed on
So,
this
these
courtroom
are
drama,
photos
not just for the
Yes.
from your
outcome,
Twitter
but for the
account.
profound shift it could
This is
herald in
when
how
you lived in
public
New York
figures are
before you were
discussed,
First Lady.
and how the media
When you
operates in
see
the age of instant
that person,
information. This
what's
lawsuit,
different
however,
about the
isn't
woman in
merely
those
about
photos
setting legal
and the woman that
precedents.
is now sitting
For Melania and Trump
across from
herself,
me?
it's a
No
deeply
difference.
personal journey, a
Same.
quest to
Same.
reclaim something
I'm
far
still
more
true to
valuable
myself.
than money.
I
While the legal battle
want to
itself
live
is certainly
meaningful life.
captivating, complete with its eye-watering sums and high-profile players. There's a deeper, more personal layer to Melania Trump's lawsuit. Beyond the headlines and the courtroom drama, many observers are whispering that this isn't just about winning a legal argument. It's a strategic move, a powerful statement in her ongoing quest for legacy and control over her own narrative. For years, Melania Trump existed, by design, largely in her husband's shadow. Her public appearances were often carefully managed, her statements concise and infrequent. She carried out the duties of First Lady, launching initiatives like Best Yet. She rarely sought the kind of individual spotlight that many of her predecessors embraced. Her stoic demeanor, while often praised by supporters, was also frequently misinterpreted or even ridiculed by critics. She was often seen as an accessory, a quiet figure in the grand Trump saga, rarely given full credit for her own strength or agency. I imagine living in a world where almost everything you do, say, or even wear is filtered through the lens of another powerful personality. For Melania, this was often her reality.
The Flash,
this lawsuit,
it's
feels
good.
like a deliberate
Protection.
step out from
Get
that
under the
shadow.
table.
It's a bold assertion that she is not merely a background character, but a woman with her own voice, her own boundaries, and her own profound sense of dignity. By taking on a media giant like The View with such force, she's sending a clear message. I will not be defined by your speculation, your jokes, or your assumptions. This offers a powerful lesson for all of us about the importance of owning our stories, even when faced with immense public scrutiny or misrepresentation. There comes a point where standing up for your truth becomes essential. For Melania, this lawsuit might be her ultimate way of grabbing back control of her image, silencing the critics who've painted her in ways she deems untrue, and proving that she's a formidable force in her own right. Separate from any political drama, it's about taking charge of her future narrative, not just protecting her past. As Melania makes this deeply personal stand, the legal machine continues to grind forward. The question on everyone's mind now shifts from why she sued to what happens next in this unfolding courtroom saga. So, here we are, with a bombshell lawsuit, impassioned arguments, and the very definition of free speech hanging in the balance. All the pieces are on the board, but what happens now? The legal system, unlike a fast-paced reality show, moves with its own deliberate rhythm. It's a complex dance of filings, motions, and negotiations, and every step brings us closer to a resolution, or perhaps, a prolonged battle. Imagine the high-stakes chess match unfolding behind closed doors. Once a lawsuit like this is filed, it sets off a series of legal procedures. First, there's the initial exchange of documents, where Melania's legal team formally presents their case, and The View's lawyers respond, outlining their defense. Then comes what's known as discovery, a phase where both sides gather information. This can involve requesting documents, emails, and, most compellingly, sworn testimonies under oath from the individuals involved, meaning the hosts. The View might have to answer tough questions in deposition rooms. Think of it like peeling back the layers of an onion, slowly revealing every detail. A common path in such high-profile cases is the possibility of a settlement. Just like in countless civil disputes you might hear about, from car accidents to business disagreements, both parties often explore whether they can reach an agreement outside of court. The View's network, ABC, and its parent company, Disney, might weigh the enormous financial risk of a $100 million judgment against the cost of a private settlement, which could save them from prolonged negative publicity and unpredictable jury verdicts. However, given Melania's strong stance and apparent desire for a public reckoning, a quick, quiet settlement might not be her primary goal. The lesson woven into this stage of the legal process is about patience and strategy. It highlights that even the most dramatic disputes often involve meticulous, behind-the-scenes legal work before ever reaching a courtroom. It's a reminder that justice, while often portrayed dramatically, is a methodical process. Whether we'll ultimately witness a public apology, a tense courtroom face-off, or a discreet agreement remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the outcome of this legal showdown isn't just about Melania Trump or The View. It carries significant implications, promising to reverberate far beyond the legal chambers and potentially redefine the rules for public discourse itself. As our story draws to a close, with the legal battle between Melania Trump and The View poised at a pivotal moment, we're left with a question that echoes far beyond the courtroom walls. This isn't just about who wins or loses a lawsuit. It's about whether this landmark case signals the dawn of a new era for public discourse. Think about the way we talk to each other now, especially online. It's often fast, furious, and sometimes incredibly harsh. Headlines scream, comments fly, and it can feel like a free-for-all where anything goes, especially when it comes to public figures. There's a prevailing sense that once someone steps into the spotlight, they become fair game for any kind of commentary, no matter how cutting or personal. But Melania Trump's audacious $100 million lawsuit directly challenges that notion. She's essentially asking, asking, does being a public figure mean you forfeit your right to a reputation, or to be free from false and damaging statements? Consider it. Real-world example. For years, many celebrities and politicians have simply tried to ride out negative media cycles, hoping the storm will pass. They might issue a brief statement, but rarely do they launch such aggressive legal action over commentary that doesn't involve outright factual errors like a false accusation of a crime. Melania's move suggests a different approach, a refusal to passively accept perceived smears. It's a bold line in the sand, demanding a level of accountability that might make many talk show hosts, podcasters, and online influencers think twice before their next hot take. The subtle lesson here is profound for all of us. Every word we utter, every comment we post, carries weight. While the right to speak freely is foundational to our society, it's not a license to inflict harm without consequence. This lawsuit serves as a powerful reminder that there's a delicate yet crucial balance between robust, even passionate, public debate, and the very real potential for defamation. It highlights that the increasing casualness of public commentary often masks the immense responsibility that comes with having a platform, no matter how big or small. So, as we watch this legal drama unfold, the unanswered question truly hangs in the air. Will Melania and Trump's stand fundamentally shift the rules of engagement for how public figures are discussed? Will it usher in an era where media outlets and individual commentators are held to a higher standard of care, where the pursuit of drama is tempered by a renewed respect for truth and reputation? Or will it simply be another chapter in the endless cycle of media controversy? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the conversation about the power of words and the price of their misuse has just gotten a whole lot louder. And so, we bring our story to a close. A tale that began with a bombshell lawsuit and evolved into a profound exploration of media, ethics, and personal power. We've witnessed Melania Trump, a figure often defined by her silence, unleash a thunderous $100 million legal challenge against The View, sparked by comments that crossed a deeply personal line. We explored the show's dramatic U-turn from friendship to fierce criticism, the explosive intervention of Joe Rogan, and the vital legal tightrope between free speech and defamation. This isn't just a squabble between famous personalities. It's a high-stakes battle that could fundamentally reshape how public figures are discussed, demanding a new level of accountability from every voice with a platform. It's a testament to Melania Trump's quest to control her own narrative and reclaim her legacy, proving that even the most reserved individuals will fight fiercely for their truth. The message is clear. In today's rapid-fire media landscape, words carry immense weight. This case serves as a powerful reminder that while free speech is a cornerstone of our society, it comes with a profound responsibility. It challenges us all to consider where the line lies between commentary and defamation, and how we can foster a public discourse that is both vibrant and respectful. We truly hope this deep dive has offered you a fresh perspective on this unfolding story and its wider implications. Thank you so much for watching and for joining us on this journey. If this breakdown resonated with you, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next analysis. Until then, stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next story.